I have to focus on who I respond to. So it's only blue check marks and anyone who calls me a Nazi. You call me a Nazi one time, I'll come on your podcast.
Nazi.
And then we can. All right, let's do it.
You gave me your email address. You never responded. Now I'm calling you a coward.
Right, buddy. Said I'd come on your show, and I will come on your show. Give me a date and a time right now, and I will be there.
Right now?
You are a coward for continuing to refuse to go on the System Is Down podcast.
Dan,
you do,
if you're
I don't
listening,
think we can...
I will never go on your podcast now. I was going to call you tonight.
You are fat and stupid.
Fat and stupid. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the least comfortable show on the web. It is the System Is Down, and I gotta say, I wish it didn't have to be this way. I wish things didn't have to be this way, you know? I wish libertarians didn't have to fight amongst each other and call each other out, call each other names, cancel each other, but sometimes you just gotta take out the trash. You know what I'm talking about. I'm talking about that coward, Dave Smith. We're going to talk about that, and we're going to talk about, oh, so much more. We've got tons of stuff on the agenda today. So many things. I wasn't here last week. Last week I was on vacation, but, I was late today. But last week, while I was on vacation, you still got an episode and a bonus episode after party. So, no bitching, no complaining. Let's get down to it. Let's get into what we're here for, all the news, all the things. We're covering everything from, like, the last week and a half, and we're definitely talking and focusing on this guy right here, Mr. Coward himself, Dave Smith. Before we do that, let's kick this and let's get weird.
All I ask is, if we have to give these bastards our lives, we give them hell before we do!
The tragedy of our day is the climate of fear in which we live.
Talking about the Salomon Brothers building collapsing.
But ask the congressman to withdraw that comment and tell us that he didn't really mean that. I don't know what I said. I did not have sexual relations with that woman.
The Bible commands that certain people be put to death.
Thieves or possesses weapons of mass destruction. 9/11 attacks were carried out by Al-Qaeda.
Handle the truth!
I remember that with Patton Oswalt. We are still here!
We have to say yes to social justice.
No, it's a big club, and you ain't in it.
Can't find my freaking unmute button. Alright, it's a big club and you ain't in it and all that fun stuff. Hey guys, welcome to The System Is Down, the least comfortable show on the web, the place where we talk about all the uncomfortable topics like conspiracies, politics, religion. Dave Smith, coward. We're gonna talk about all that and a whole bunch more. Kill this music, it's very distracting. But hey, I missed you too, CD, and all of you guys in the chats. I missed the live hangout last week because, as I said, I was out of town. I had a great vacation, much needed vacation with my family, and then we went to some water parks. We did some fun family things up in the Wisconsin Dells, which is great. Now that I'm getting older, vacation time, like, it used to be like you go to I always dreamed of going to all the roller coaster parks and the water parks and stuff like that. Like, my family did some of those things when I was a kid, but I always wanted to do those things, and there were the fun things. And then I got older, and I was like, I'm gonna go to all these things all the time. And now I'm in the first, I don't know, let's say half of my adulthood. Yeah, I'm halfway done. Sorry, guys. Sorry, spoiler alert. But the first half of my adulthood, I was like, yeah, let's go to like Cedar Point and stuff. Let's go to these things. But I didn't have any money. Now that I have a little bit of money, that I can go on vacations a little bit more comfortably. My kids are a little older, like 10 and 12, and we go to these water parks that we've gone to. Like Kayla and I have gone to these for a couple years. I don't know, maybe 3 or 4 times in our marriage. We went a couple times without the kids, and now a couple times with the kids. Now going to these things, I'm like, all right, I went down the slide. I'm gonna sit here, have a drink, and read a book, and you guys being able to go on and do your thing, that's my vacation. My vacation is you guys having fun over there. But I am thinking about... They are here. I probably shouldn't say it too loudly, but I am thinking about surprising them by taking them to like Six Flags or something later too, this year or next year, because they've earned it. They work real hard. They're kids and stuff. Not really, just kidding. I just like to be a good father. Anyway, who cares? I'm back now. It's good to be back. It's good to see all your shining, commenting faces in the chats. If you're not in the chats, get in the chats. And if you're a stalker, the least you could do is like, share, subscribe, all the annoying things that all the annoying millennials tell you to do. Go do those things. I don't say it just for my benefit. I say it for the benefit of this show. If you guys enjoy this show and you want it to keep getting out there, it really helps if you help kick those numbers up, because YouTube does not like at least 75% of the topics that I talk about. I don't mean 75% of the episodes. I mean 75% of the topics. They're probably all the episodes they're not fans of, but the topics themselves. And that's being fairly generous on my end, because they don't seem to like much. And that's why we talk about it, because if there's something that you're being told you're not supposed to talk about, that's what you should be talking about and screaming about from the heavens. But before we get into the news, I got to remind you guys about Free Ounce of Kratom at freeounceofkratom.com. You can get your free ounce of Kratom right now at freeounceofkratom.com. I mean, not right now. Whenever it gets there, I can't. I think they use USPS, so it might take a while. But you can get some Kratom. If you haven't tried it, it's good. It helps with addictions. It helps with energy. It helps with depression. It helps with all sorts of things, cravings and stuff like that. I'm drinking some right now, as you can see, right here, and I like it. I usually drink it every episode. But yeah, try it at freeounceofkratom.com. It's free. If you don't want the Kratom, you can, if you like weed, you can get some Delta 8 THC. You can get CBD. You can get colloidal silver. They still have that, and vitamins, minerals, and all that sort of fun, healthy stuff that the government doesn't like you having access to. You can get 5% off all of those things at freeounceofkratom.com by using the promo code TSID. We are also sponsored by Jack Casey Books at jackcaseybooks.com. Jack Casey wrote the only book that I have read since, I don't know, maybe the last 5 to 8 years or so. And I read it because he's a friend of the show now, and he supports the show. And I was like, hey, it's a thin book. It sounds interesting. And I was very pleasantly surprised, not surprised that Jack Casey put out a good book. I mean, I would have no idea if the other ones are good. My wife read them, but I won't, I'm sure, because they're too thick. They're thicker than the Bible, and I don't even read that. But Jack Casey wrote this new one that's WVW. I really like the premise. It's got a darker comedic premise and a lot of libertarian values in it. So I loved it, and I highly recommend it to everyone else. We might be doing a what's it called? A contest soon of some sort. We might be doing a giveaway of one, maybe more, signed copies of WVW from Jack Casey. But if you don't want to wait, and it'll probably be signed by Jack and also me, because I made that sexy cover right there. That was me too. But if you don't want to wait on that contest or take your chances, if you are smarter than the people who play the lottery, go on over to jackcaseybooks.com and get your copy right now at jackcaseybooks.com. What else we got? I forgot about you guys. How could I forget about you guys? It's been so long since I've live streamed. Here we go. And there is one that isn't in here. I apologize. Actually, let me find them right now, and I'll give them the first shout out, because they just joined today into the Downers Club, and I don't know where anything is on this desktop at the moment. What is going on here? Okay, here we go. It is expand. enhance. Jean-Luc Picard, the one and only, I'm pretty sure, just joined the Downers Club today, and they will get access to the Downers Club after party, the extended episodes that I do every week where we keep the party going. Afterwards, live streamed, continuing all the fun. Jean-Luc Picard should have access, or might have, I don't think I sent him a link. Sean, if you're watching by chance, during the course of this, track me down, or CD or Shannon or somebody who's always pimping this stuff, and tell them that you want in for the after party, and we'll get you right in there. But he's not in this list. Everybody else is in this list. People like Gremlin666, Zerathanarchy, Lisa Debus, Lauren Carter, Level Zero, Vanzot Media, Carolina B, Javari, Craig DaCosta, Anthony Meyer, Davis Johnson, Aaron Stute, Nathan Sipes, Brian McWilliams, a bunch of other people. If you want to get your name on that list and get like 100% more content than you are currently getting from this show, go on over to patreon.com/The System Is Down, where we get more weird, more raw, more offensive, more weekly content, bonus episodes of the show every single week in the Downers Club. Get in there, and not only that, but you're helping support this thing, because I'm not allowed really to make money off this. Like I'm not allowed to super chat. Like all the podcasters I listen to, they're like touting their super chats and all that shit and making money or something. I'm not allowed to super chat on YouTube. They don't like me, as I have mentioned once or twice. Not only that, but I don't have time to. I've got like access to probably a decent list of promoters that I could have sponsor the show, like just in like passing deals and stuff like that. I don't take the time really to look into them. I would rather not have to do that. I would rather not have more and more ads here shoved into the show. I would rather that list keep getting longer and longer as you guys support this show, to keep this fun and keep it less business. But it would be great to have some way to make money off this thing that I put a lot of work into. So if you want to support, go on over to patreon.com/The System Is Down, where you'll get more weird, more offensive, more weekly content, bonus episodes of the show every week. All right, if you don't know what we're doing here, what this is where we look outside, we watch the news, we look at what's happening in the world, and we laugh at it together. Because as the world burns, as the world turns its last turns, the only thing that we have left to do is laugh. So we're going to do that today. We're going to laugh about the tire fire that is the news. We're not going to get into Dave Smith just yet. We're going to bury that lead for just a moment and talk about some real important things. And we usually like to start out with the good news, the really happy thing that can really set the tone for the rest of the episode, and then pull the rug out from under you with a bunch of tragic darkness. That is the rest of the show for however long it ends up being. And I will say also, before we get into this, the after party might even be longer than the main episode here, because I want to talk about this Dave Smith thing. It's not news, but I wanted to be able to save enough time for that, so I drug a whole bunch of articles over into my after party layout. So get in there, and you'll probably get more than you bargained for. We might even have to make it 2 episodes if I decide that they're all worth talking about. But the good news for today is, did you guys hear about... Okay, there we go. Zorro drama, female led from Robert and Becca Rodriguez. Who cares? In the works at CW. So, female Zorro, Lady Zorro, Loro, whatever we want to call her. Drop in the chats and let me know what you think Lady Zorro should be called. Why is everybody blowing up my phone? Let me know your ideas for who should be Lady Zorro. I don't care who they say it is, but who it should be and what it should be about, or actually just the name, not Zorro. You can't have Zorro. You need a new lady name. Get your own name. Drop it in the chats. We're not gonna read this. First off, who cares? Like I don't really care. Hollywood has some bad ideas, especially the CW. It has terrible ideas. I don't care if you want to make woman movies. This isn't like sexism, misogyny, whatever bullshit. This is, you keep complaining that people don't like your shit, but you're not making your own shit. You're just regurgitating old shit. And I don't care if it's a woman or a man or whatever. we already have this stuff. Can you please, for the love of God, come up with something new? And if you're not going to come up with something new, don't just like fuck around with shit for the sake of it. We're just going to make Lady Zorro because that's what the world wanted. That's what we were asking for. Ladies, do you feel represented? Do you feel represented? CD says, holy shit. Yes. Shannon says, Zara. I like it. Alex W. says, if Dave Smith goes on the podcast, I'll join the Downers Club for sure. Well, stick around, Mr. Alex W., because we'll talk. We'll talk. But if you want to get in before that happens, now's your chance. Anyway, moving on. Who cares? My buttons are a mess. So, Lady Zorro, do we want it? Do we want it? No. Do we need it? No. Is it going to add something to the fabric of humanity? No, not really. So, and it's especially funny, and I know I've made this point many times before, but when you are a feminist who is trying to convince everyone that women can do anything that men can do, and it's you're everybody's equal. I don't think they're equal. I think that they have different values that balance each other out nicely in life, and I think that's kind of the way it was intended. But when you spend all your time trying to convince people that women can do exactly everything that men can do, and then to show that, you take things that men have made, starring men, and put women into them. That doesn't prove your point. That proves that you can't do the things that men can do. In that sense, like, not saying that you can't, but it proves that you didn't come up with Zorro. You're stealing something else and just hacking it up. But who cares? It's all dumb. What's up, chat? How you guys doing? No one asked for this. Correct. What up? What up, y'all? All right, we're moving on. Speaking of, I don't know, heroes and women. You guys hear about Patton Oswalt? Why are my buttons slow today? I did do an update earlier. Excuse me. I did do an update earlier, so my buttons might be a little bit out of whack because I didn't do an update on the Stream Deck. I did it on the program. Whatever. But comedian Patton Oswalt, who is like, he looks like, I don't know, Michael Moore halfway through his transition surgery. He is friends with Dave Chappelle, and he took a picture with Dave Chappelle, and of course everybody freaked out, and then, of course, what happened was Patton Oswalt backpedaled and pussed out, for lack of a better term. And I know there's many better terms for that, but I'm going with pussed out. They 100% disagree about transgender rights, he says. So he's friends with Dave Chappelle, and the woke mob had to attack him because Dave Chappelle is problematic and yada yada, and Patton Oswalt is like, hey, guys, settle down. Don't be stealing my next Disney roles from me for supporting a black man. He didn't say that. That would have been even more based than what he said. It was just like some wishy-washy, where is it? I don't know. Who cares? Who cares about Patton Oswalt? That's the story, and that's really all that matters. He backpedaled it. It wasn't like a super hard backpedal of like, I don't think it was like completely throwing Dave Chappelle under the bus or anything like that. It was just kind of pushing him to the back of the bus, that's all. Yeah, he did. He came out and had to have an explanation for it. And it's like, if you have to explain why you're friends with certain people, either don't be friends with them or you're not friends with them already. Like, don't use Dave Chappelle's celebrity to be like, hey guys, look at me, and then be like, whoa, don't look at that part of Dave Chappelle's celebrity. I don't want association. Like, you're friends or you're not. And when the people attack you, you can come out and, like, if he had come out and said, fuck you guys, Dave Chappelle's an awesome dude, he's not a transphobe, and neither am I, and here's what I think, like, that would be defending Dave Chappelle. And that would have been way more ballsy than any backpedaling. All right, what do we got? Patton Oswalt is low T. Correct. I would imagine so. He used to be real funny. Like, back in the day, it's like he got angrier as time went on. He was always kind of like a crotchety, liberal, whatever, douchebag. Didn't he die? Not that I know of. He might be dead after that flame war on Twitter, but Patton Oswalt used to be funny. I don't know what happened, but he was like, angry, edgy leftist, and I'm fine with leftist comedians. They pretty much all are, except for Dave Smith, who just happens to be a coward. So it's not like I don't like him for his politics. I just don't like, when politics becomes the entirety of your celebrity. When you became a celebrity for something completely different, and then you turn that celebrity into your opinion mattering on politics, all of a sudden, like it has any bearing on your career whatsoever. It's not your job, man. Shut up and be funny, I guess. I don't know. I don't know. It just gets annoying. It gets old. It gets boring. And watching a guy, push his friend to the back of the bus is less than ideal for a funny man. Okay, what do we got up in here? He's alive and wasting air, says full-grown man. Ouch. Zing. Hold on. Ouch. This next one, you remember Mr. Cuomo? Not the Cuomo who, inappropriately groped women on CNN. I'm talking about the Cuomo who allegedly inappropriately groped women as governor of New York. You remember him? He was cool, right? Killed a bunch of elderly folks in nursing homes, but we all know now that there was 14 to 15,000 old folks who died because of Chris Cuomo. That's the one, right? I get it mixed up. Cuomo, not Guido or whatever his name is. The other one, or Fredo, that's what it was. The other Fredo, the second Fredo, who was born first. He killed a bunch of people, and they tried sweeping that under the rug, and their explanation was, well, we didn't tell you the numbers because we didn't want to look bad. That was literally their excuse, and what they went with. He went on to commit the heinous crime of groping women. Yes, 15,000 old folks is a lot of old folks, but 15,000 old folks versus 11 women being groped, and only then will we remove him. Actually, we didn't even remove him. We just let him go. We let him walk out so that it wouldn't look bad. But good news, folks. Groping charge against former New York Governor Cuomo dropped by prosecutor. So it's all gone. Everything's fine now. It's all good. I've noticed that not a lot of people are talking about this, but this seems a little bit relevant, right? It seems a little bit important. Quote, we have concluded that we cannot meet our burden at trial. That's from the district attorney themselves. Let me see. There's the reasoning here. While many have an opinion regarding the allegations against the former governor, the Albany, this comes from abcnews.go.com, so you know it's super legit. Quote, while many have an opinion regarding the allegations against the former governor, the Albany County DA's office is the only one who has a burden to prove the elements of a crime beyond a reasonable doubt. Sorrell said in a statement, quote, while we found the complainant in the case this is important here. Found the complainant in the case cooperative and credible after review of all the available evidence, we have concluded that we cannot meet our burden at trial. As such, we have notified the court we are declining to prosecute this matter and requesting the charges filed by the Albany Court Sheriff be dismissed. His statement continued. So what does that mean? That means, the person who accused him of these things that finally took him down, that person, we found her to be nice, smart, intelligent, credible. Everything she said checked out. We just didn't feel like we could, meet our burden in trial. We didn't think that we could, what's it called? Do our jobs. We didn't think we could do that. Didn't think that would work out for us. You know what this is. Obviously, this is backroom dealings and shit like that. I don't know. If somebody knows more about law than I do, I watched all the seasons of Boston Legal at least 3 times, so I consider myself a bit of an expert. But if somebody knows even more than that, let me know if this is normal occurrence, because for a DA to come out and be like, yeah, we've got evidence, it's just not quite enough to bother with. So we're just, he grabbed women and killed people. don't worry about that last one. But the first one, that's not that big a deal either. I mean, we're pretty sure he did it, but we just don't feel like doing our jobs as, government employees that you guys all pay for. According to botched numbers and lies, we should all be dead from coof by now. Yes, exactly. Ms. MZ, whatever. Yes. That is part of the title of this episode. Everyone I know is dead. Look around, guys. Everyone. I'm not entirely. Well, I am obviously joking. Not everyone I know is dead. But I know a lot of people that got sick at the same time or around the same time as me. And not all around here. I didn't give it to them. Don't put that on me, Ricky Bobby. But lots of people from all over all are coming down with this thing right at the same time, which is pretty much exactly what we expected to happen. And it's showing itself as a pretty severe cold. The end. Spike Cohen, if you're out there listening, I know you're not listening. You have better things to do, like save the world. But Spike Cohen, if you're listening, get well soon. He was posting about it recently, and he's dealing with that right now, which he has some pre-existing conditions and health issues and stuff like that. That does make it even more of a concern. But best wishes. I think you're probably going to be okay. Anyway, not sure any way to segue out of that comment, but love you, Spike. Let's see. What else do we have on this? Oh, well, Cuomo's just, he's fine. He'll be okay. So for all of you who are worried about Cuomo, no more need to worry. He's Italian and everything's fine. Moving on, because we gotta keep rolling here. Speaking of unbelievable things and craziness that makes absolutely no sense, but for the powers that be, logic has no bounds or no restrictions. Restrictions. That's what I'm gonna say. Up in Canada, of course, they're continuing their insanity. And I'm gonna have to refresh this. I know, because I always do whenever it's Twitter. Breaking in Ontario, they're locking down again. Shocking.
That's why, effective Wednesday, January 5th, the province will return to a modified version of Step 2 of the roadmap to reopen. These time-limited measures will help blunt transmission and preserve our hospital bed capacity. Measures include reducing social gathering limits to 5 people indoors and 10 people outdoors, requiring businesses and organizations to ensure employees work remotely unless the nature of their work requires them to be on site, closing indoor dining at restaurants, bars, and other food or drink establishments while permitting outdoor dining with restrictions, takeout, drive-through, and delivery, closing select indoor settings, including theaters, cinemas, and museums, but permitting outdoor establishments to open with restrictions.
So you get it. They're locking down again. All the stuff.
Facilities.
All the shit. Everything. It went so well all the other times we did it, right? Like COVID went away because we locked down, because we all got vaccinated, because we imposed all these mandates. COVID went away, right? Just kidding, YouTube. Don't strike me for that, of all things, for the love of God. COVID did not go away. COVID kept going. Despite all of your mandates and despite all of your bullshit. So, what do we decide to do? Let's try again. Let's do another mandate. Let's do a 4th vaccine. Sorry, I'm filling my vape tank here, and it's my juice isn't being nice to me. Yeah, let's do more of that. That shit went great. People loved it. It didn't destroy lives. Didn't put people out of businesses. It didn't shut out, it didn't destroy our economy or anything. It went great. Like, if it didn't, you know the bad, and you know the good, and you know the good that it's supposed to do, and you know that it didn't do that good at all, and it just did a lot more of the bad, but instead of, like, never, ever doing that again because of how bad it was, we're just going to do it again because. Just because. That's what we do now. When people are getting sick, we just tell them, you're not allowed to live your life anymore. As Josh Smith said, they're making, what is it, sickness illegal? Yes. Look at Australia. They're not doing so hot. Yeah. So there's that. That's fun. Speaking of insane people, you guys ever hear of Douglas Little? Doug Little? I don't know. I'm pretty sure he's up in Canada too. I don't know who he is. He's some sort of official person of importance. You're not going to be able to find him on Twitter after he said something like this. Sorry, you can't see that very well. Let me see if I can. No, Twitter's dumb. Let me move myself. My position is we must make the lives of the unvaccinated a total misery and just keep escalating the exclusions until we crush the resistance and break their spirit in order to force compliance so they learn not to resist. I can't see all this stuff. So they learn not to resist government mandates. Let's just I don't know. Let's not kill them. Let's do everything but kill them. What just happened here? Oh, okay. It just minimized. I was like adjusting my other screen and this one got all fucky. So there it is. There it is. That's where we're at. That's the wonderful, bright future of unity that we're currently living in. That's how well the masks and the mandates worked. So well that we have to insist that everybody, we have to call for the most violent possible mandates. And, this guy is obviously an asshole and a retard, but it's okay because he was removed from Twitter. I don't know if he removed himself from Twitter. I can't confirm that. Twitter might have removed him for such an asinine post. That is very possible. I, for one, hope that he was given, a hint of reality. I hope Twitter didn't remove him. I hope what I think might have happened. Oh, I guess it does say account suspended. I don't know. Does it say account delete? I imagine it says account deleted when he does it himself. I wish he could. Let me rephrase. After not reading the 2 words on my screen, I will rephrase. I would have rather he did not get suspended for something that stupid. That is stupid and awful and atrocious. And I would have rather he got, I guess you could call it canceled. I would have rather he got run out of town on the rails, tarred and feathered, whatever. I mean that metaphorically. I would have rather he got told how stupid of a take it is until he could not handle it anymore and left. That is how this should be handled, because we should know that people like Douglas Little in the world exist. We should know. I want to know if you want people to die or if you want misery. Total misery. Just keep escalating the exclusion until we crush the resistance and break their spirit in order to force compliance. Crush the... I mean, they call us dramatic when we say it's it's like other events in history. But I don't know what's next. If we radicalize Doug Little further, what would be his next step? If shaming them out of existence doesn't work or whatever he's calling for, what's the next step? Is it boxcars? I don't know, but I think that Doug Little will be safe. He will be the very last person on the boxcar. Unfortunately, the boxcar has already left Twitter for him. But it's not just him, though. He's gone from Twitter. It's not just him. The LA Times has column. Come on. Open the screen share. Column mocking anti-vaxxers. Death is ghoulish, yes, but necessary. Mocking anti-vaxxers' death is ghoulish, yes, but necessary. Not just beneficial, necessary. You need to mock people. You need to, I guess, mock the families of the person who died of COVID as an anti-vaxxer. Okay. All right. Among all the ways that COVID-19 affects our lives, the pandemic confronts us with a profound moral dilemma. Sorry. We should react to the deaths of the unvaccinated. How should we react to the deaths of the unvaccinated? On the one hand, a hallmark of civilized thought is the sense that every life is precious. The end. Sorry. On the other hand, it continues. those who have deliberately flouted sober medical advice by refusing a vaccine known to reduce the risk of serious disease from the virus, including the risk to others. That's not true, by the way. It reduces the risk of serious disease. Yes, sometimes. Seems like, according to a lot of people, they're getting it pretty bad. I don't know how are we determining that it lessens the risk of serious disease? Exactly. Like, each person is different, and that's what the quote-unquote anti-vaxxers are saying as well. Each person is different. You can't force this on people because it could be a death sentence on certain people. Not everyone, but certain people. So you say it reduces the risk of serious disease. How exactly can you prove that it would have been less severe if you hadn't, or it would have been more severe if you hadn't gotten the vaccine? And I'm saying that to like all the celebrities like Whoopi Goldberg and I don't know. I lose track because they're all the same. How can you prove that? Because everybody's different, and you got the vaccine, you got the second vaccine, you might have even gotten the third, you might even tested for the fourth vaccine currently, and you got it, and you're complaining about how bad it is. You don't know how bad it would or would not have been if you hadn't gotten the vaccine because you got the vaccine. Now, even if you have like, I don't know, maybe you could take like two siblings or something and compare them, like they both got COVID and one was vaxxed and one was not, and see how it pans out. But even that doesn't account for every biological makeup in the human body that would determine whether or not your body likes the way that it's going to react to this thing. But yeah, I don't know. We gotta make fun of people though, right? We gotta ridicule people after they die because they just were too stupid to listen to science and do as Lord Fauci said. So we obviously, if they die, we should laugh at them. We don't let them into the hospitals when they get COVID if they're not already vaccinated. So we don't allow them to get medical help. I know this isn't everywhere, but there are certain places where you're not allowed to get medical help if you have not taken the vaccine. And there are plenty of people that are pushing for it in the places where it doesn't currently exist. But we're not allowed to go to those places. Certain people aren't. We're not allowed to go out in public even in certain places. But if you die, that's on you because you should have gotten that vaccine that some people have died from. Math. Now, let's see. What else we got here? Oh, Boris Johnson. Man. Donald Trump of the East. Free lateral flow tests face the axe under plans for living with COVID, which Boris Johnson will announce within weeks. Okay, so I would say, yeah. Lots of people are saying this. Lots of people are saying, hey, we're going to have to live with COVID now. Yes, disable my ad blocker, for shit's sake. Stop. I disabled you earlier. Why are you ruining my show? Okay, refreshing. Lots of people are saying the same thing of, we're going to have to learn to live with COVID. We're going to have to deal with this thing because it's part of our life now. And they've been saying this. Certain higher-ups have said this off and on. I'm pretty sure Fauci said it like a year ago, one or two times before they switched the narrative up. But now the narrative is becoming a little bit more friendly to such crazy thoughts as like, hey, we clearly can't stop this thing, so we're going to have to let this run its course. We're going to have to deal with it. We're going to have to, I don't know, God forbid we get treatments or anything like that, because those are all heresy in today's day and age. But we also had ex-health official suggesting over in Israel, suggesting ending quarantine and living with COVID so everybody catches it. And I'm sure this probably it's a short article. It probably says exactly what the title says, and that's it. So we're going to move on. But just know, some of the narrative is shifting a little bit. Some people are starting to wake up. Lots of people, I've noticed, are starting to wake up to this thing lately. And it could have something to do with the fact that the left is kind of shifting their narrative a little bit. The left is kind of easing up. I don't know why they're easing up, and I don't trust them easing up, but I will take it, I saw some people online saying things like, hey, the left, government, kind of the same thing. Right, too. Just throw them all in there. the establishment left is they're changing their tune because they're scared and they're backpedaling. That could be the person was like responding to. I'm losing my train of thought horribly because I already opened the next article and I'm thinking about that. So somebody said, we shouldn't be like calling this a win. We should be like focusing even harder, because if they're letting up, it's not because they're being reasoned with, it's because they're re-strategizing or whatever. And that's probably the case. But we gotta keep a little bit of positivity sometimes, don't we? Like I'm angry as hell that Jeffrey Epstein didn't kill himself in prison. But I'm also glad that Jeffrey Epstein is dead. I'm really mad that that the whole Ghislaine Maxwell thing, all those people are never going to see any punishments for their crimes, most likely. That is pretty blackpilling to see all these people on a list of pedophiles who went to Pedophile Island, of celebrities and big name elitists that are never going to be brought to justice. I would be willing to put money on that. The fact that most of them will probably never even be questioned on this stuff. But I'm still glad she's locked up. Like, I don't trust these people when they make decisions, and you shouldn't either. And if they're backing it up, they're probably strategizing. That doesn't mean they didn't back up because of some of the pressure that we normal folks are putting on them. Old normal folks, not new normal folks. It doesn't mean that they're not backing down a little bit and showing their hand, because like I've been saying over the last couple of weeks, these people have been flailing like hell. They have just been batshit crazy flailing. And I think that's a sign of weakness. I think that's a sign that they're like, this isn't working. We're going to have to re-strategize. That might mean they get angrier and come back full force even harder. But call it a win when it's a win. Keep an eye out for all the insanity or whatever, but call it a win when it's a win. Because people who are telling you that you have no impact on this in any way whatsoever, they're probably like the whoever came up with QAnon just to docilize everybody and keep them from actually using their 2A rights. Yeah, take that how you will. Whatever, we're spending too much time on this. Did you guys hear about all the new made-up words that have come out over the last couple of weeks? Things like first case of flu-rona. Flu and COVID-19 detected in Israel. Flu-rona. Then we've got Deltacron. Is it real, and how worried should you be? I think it's important to say, if it's not real, they would have said Deltacron isn't real. So even without reading this, it doesn't really matter. They're saying Deltacron, just another thing they made up, is real, and how worried should you be? Not should you be worried, you should be worried. Now, how worried of this word we just made up should you really be? I'm sure it's very scared. Very, very scared. What should you do? Let's see what their solutions are for Deltacron. The United States has exceeded 60 million confirmed cases of COVID-19. Okay. Since the start of the pandemic, which is about equivalent to the populations of California and Florida combined. However, because some of those are COVID reinfection, the tally doesn't necessarily equal 60 million. Y'all better not be giving me this fucking cold back. I swear this show gives me COVID on a weekly basis. We are seeing people who had COVID early on and who had not gotten vaccinated and then get COVID another time, and we know from reports from around the world that is certainly a possibility, particularly when people were infected with the original strain that doesn't offer any cross protection against newer strains. This is we're 2/3 of the way through the what should you do section here, and this is what they've told us. Continuing, the best thing we can do besides worrying about it is coining variant names that sound like Transformers villains. What? I don't know. Who is this? Blackdoctor.org. Sounds like he's being sarcastic, but this is a quote. I'm not entirely sure what this is. Just know Deltacron is a word that people are using for stupid. So virus with fewer opportunities to spread. Wait a second. Transformer villain is ensuring that vaccines are available to everyone and combining vaccination with other strategies to give the virus fewer opportunities to spread. Dr. Boguma Kabisen. I feel like this is fake, but I don't know what to think anymore from anything. Where wellness and culture connect. I don't think it is fake. It sounds... Goddamn. I don't even know what's real anymore. Deltacron, is it real and how worried? I don't even know if this website's real. I don't know. I heard a good theory yesterday. I'm pretty sure it was. Somebody messaged me their theory. Sorry, I don't remember your name. And they messaged me on Twitter and said their theory for Meta is that we were already in a simulation, like the Matrix, and now they're making a simulation within the simulation, which would then make that simulation pretty meta, would it not? So, I don't know. I thought it was fun. Thought it was a good one. Very possible, even according to world-renowned scientists / actors like, Bill Nye the Science Guy, Neil deGrasse Tyson. Lots of people who say that conspiracy theories are just crazy nonsense. They seem to be all about the interdimensional stuff and aliens, and mostly I've seen a lot of where we might be living in a simulation thing. I don't believe it. I don't think I believe it, but who knows? How do you define simulation? If we were made by anything, if we were made by God or made by Zulu, Cthulhu, whatever, if we were made by something to live here in this reality, is that not a simulation? Because we're not living on that higher plane that the creator of us created. We're living here in this reality that is kind of a simulated version of that. I don't know. Whatever. Did you guys hear about croup? Omicron in kids leading to a new but familiar illness. Croup. Is that how that's pronounced? While scary sounding, the barking cough of croup is usually easily treatable, doctors say. Croup. It's a bad cough. It's easily treatable. So, Omicron, let me read out of this. Omicron, a disease that gives people a cough and nasal congestion and headaches, gives them flu-like symptoms, has been causing certain kids to cough. Did I get that about right? I mean, good Lord, people. The croup sounds like this is something from before, like this isn't specifically COVID-19 related, but it's giving them a bad cough that they've called croup or kraup or whatever it is. Croup or kraup sounds like a frickin' German, I don't know, bedtime story, like something Dwight Schrute would talk about. The kraup would come out as this fat, ugly, evil monster creature thing. Something like, speaking of fat, ugly, evil monster things, did you guys hear about this guy, Ethan Klein? Do you guys even know who Ethan Klein is? You might. I do. I'm not trying to throw shade at him. I'm genuinely interested. Do you guys know Ethan Klein? What's the crossover rate for The System Is Down in H3H3 Productions? Ethan Klein is a guy who hosts a podcast. And I listened to him a bit back in the day when he was going for funny rather than just angry, loathsome skunk of a human. He was funny at the time. I don't know. I fell off a long time ago. It doesn't really add that much value to life. Like here, I try to entertain you and also inform you of things that are happening. I'm not saying I bring more value to life than H3H3, but I do. I'm not saying it, but I do. I don't have as big of an audience, but I still do. He used to do things like giant, like he made a giant vape. It was the size of a door, and did Vape Nation douche stuff as funny. Yes, SDG H3H3 was hilarious in the old days, to be honest. Yes, he was. And now he's turned into I don't even know. He seems to pick a lot of fights with people online for attention, because this dude's okay. So whatever, let's get into it. This guy's a slob, and he called out Joe Rogan for being unhealthy. Here's the post thread. We're gonna read this together. I should have brought up a picture of him first. We'll get to that. He says, Joe Rogan, who lives on elk meat, egg yolk, and human growth hormone with lungs full of tar, thinks he is healthier than everyone. This MFer is such a bitch that when he got COVID, he threw the kitchen sink at it. If you're so healthy, just write it out like you say a man should. Now, I want to believe that this is satire. Because you started it out with Joe Rogan, who lives on mostly healthy things and hunts it, is thinks that he's healthier than a guy who makes... So Ethan Klein makes fun of his own weight and his own slothful grossness a bunch of the time, it seems like. And he's going out there calling Joe Rogan a bitch. It seems... I want to believe that this is fake. He doesn't actually think this, that he just knew that this would piss everybody off, and he was right. It did. But he says he's got lungs full of tar. Lungs full of tar from cigars. He smokes cigars sometimes. You're the guy who made Vape Nation. I'm not sure if... sure, that's not tar, but you're a sloth that vapes, bro. And, yeah, I don't know. Whatever. I don't really care about this guy, but we're going to read some more. Dude has caused so much vaccine hesitancy. Let me try reading it like him. Dude has caused so much vaccine hesitancy and I can't do it. And misinformation, and he doesn't even have the balls to stand by the shit he preaches. Now he's on his show talking about how fat people should just die of COVID. False. You know that's not true, even without looking, but feel free to look and let me know if I'm wrong. I'm sure. I am 99.28% sure Joe Rogan did not say that fat people should die of COVID. No. Not buying it. The dude is such a fucking piece of shit. Instead of getting vaccinated, he takes Regeneron, an experimental drug that was developed alongside mRNA vaccines. Okay. So are the mRNA vaccines bad? Or good? If he doesn't take the vaccine, but he takes something that was made developed alongside the vaccines, does that make him bad or good? By your logic. Then he credits ivermectin, which does fucking nothing for COVID, because you know. You're saying it does nothing for COVID. The guy got better in 2 days. 2 days. He came out looking all green on CNN. Just kidding. That was a CNN filter. Look it up. It's absolutely insane, the amount of deception at CNN to... They put a green filter on Joe Rogan to make him look sicker than he was. But he comes out on CNN as a zombie, and then 2 days later, he's fine. Probably might have something to do with his diet or the kitchen sink that he threw at it that seemed to work for Tim Pool and others as well. Or people like... what's the sports ball guy's name? Aaron Rodgers. He came out and said something about the NFL basically uses the same kitchen sink for their stuff. Yes, they're definitely all less healthy than the great Ethan Klein. Not to mention whatever the fuck is an alpha brain. It's not even, no. Whatever, who cares? Meanwhile, Joe is on a big pharma conspiracy against vaccines. Someone needs to ask him who makes ivermectin and Regeneron and all the other shit he took when he had COVID. So you're for or against Big Pharma? If you think... Maybe you have some point to Joe Rogan being a hypocrite or something, but Joe Rogan's not he's not on a big pharma conspiracy against vaccines. He's not. That's not true. But if he was, let's go there and say that he is. He's 100% this crazy guy who's against big pharma. Meanwhile, he's taking ivermectin and Regeneron and other shit that big pharma created. Oh, so you're saying... What are you saying? Are you saying he should or shouldn't be... I don't know. This is dumb. This is dumb. Dumb things from dumb people. Read by a dumb person. DailyCaller.com talked about this, and we'll go through this one just briefly because I do want to get some of the sweet pictures of Ethan Klein up here so you know who I'm talking about. Comedian Ethan Klein calls Joe Rogan a bitch. Go calls him a bitch. I sure showed him, MMA fighter. Like, I don't know. I like Joe Rogan. I don't trust him all the time. I think he plays dumb a lot of the time on a lot of stuff, but I certainly don't think he's a bitch. Of all the criticisms that I have of Joe Rogan, it's not about his health so much. I mean, maybe he drinks a lot. He seems to drink a lot. But who cares? He can do what he wants. He's a grown-ass man. But it's definitely not his health or his fitness that I'm concerned about. It's definitely not that compared to this guy, that Joe Rogan's a bitch. Comedian Ethan Klein, who previously took a mirror selfie wearing a diaper, called Joe Rogan a bitch Tuesday and accused the podcaster of causing so much vaccine hesitancy and misinformation. Joe Rogan, who lives on... Okay, we read that already. Yes, so here's the famous picture now. This is Joe Rogan and Ethan Klein. There's Ethan Klein, Exhibit A. Exhibit B, Joe Rogan, 18 years older than Exhibit A. For those that are listening to the audio, I am currently showing you a fat, I would say probably middle-aged man, based on the look of his health, middle-aged man in a diaper. A literal diaper, and that is all. That is a picture he took of himself with a cell phone in a mirror and decided to post to the internet. And I'm sure he's not ashamed of it, because that's kind of his humor. His shtick is just like self-degrading, gross humor. And that's why I think that this is fake. I think he disagrees with Joe Rogan. I think he wants to make a stink about Joe Rogan. I don't think his primary reason for making fake shit up about Joe Rogan, I don't think it's because he's concerned about your health. I don't think he's concerned about misinformation getting out there, or he's trying to do his service to the world by keeping you informed as douche nation guy. I think that the primary reason why he shared it was just to get a rise out of people, and knew what was going to happen. He knew that it would... See, he says, take that off the screen. It's gone. You're behind. You're living in the past, Polish Karen. I think he knew that, of course he knew that this would blow up, that he would be lambasted and everything. He knew that this would get him tons and tons and tons of exposure because of how absolutely absurdly stupid it is. And I can respect that. You want to know why? Because I canceled Dave Smith. Motherfucker. Now we're gonna spend a little bit of time on this. We got to talk about it. So for those that don't know the story, I had to cancel Dave Smith because Dave Smith refused to come on my podcast. That's kind of it. I'm gonna play the video. I'm gonna pause and talk over it and stuff and point out some things. But before we do that, I want to go through some of the comments, because the comments are just beautiful. Like, you all autistic folks are just joys. It's like, let me start by saying, for those that aren't familiar with libertarians and stuff, we call each other in a degrading yet loving way. We call each other autistic because we probably are. Like, legitimately, not like joking. It is used as a joke, but libertarians, there's a reason why a lot of libertarians, most libertarians, the vast majority of libertarians are men, and they are focused on law and Robert's Rules of Order shit and theoretical politics and economics and everything. Like, who in your normal life growing up do you know that acted that way? It was like, there was like one person out of each class, and now we know that they were probably severely autistic, who couldn't function and they spent all their time doing really nerdy shit. Yeah, those guys all grew up to be libertarians. And that's fine, because the autistic folks are gonna be the only thing that we have to save the world at this point. And I've said before on the show, the painful irony is when the vaccines that we were given as a child turned us all autistic, and now we use that autism, we weaponize it to take down the vaccines and the government. That's what we're going for. That's what I'm working for. I hope it's what you're working for. But then there's some people that are like the bad kind of autism, where they just don't understand anything. I don't even know any of these types of people in real life. I know a lot of autistic people in real life, actually. I have a lot of family that's autistic. I don't know anybody who functions less, I don't know, successfully online than some of these people on Twitter. We're going to go through some comments here. We'll just jump in, see what happens. You saw the video at the beginning, so you know what we're talking about here. I don't have to play it all for reference, but we'll get into some points here in a bit. Here's what the internet had to say about my cancellation of Dave Smith. First off, starts pretty tame, pretty mild. From anarcho-populist, he says, yes, I am calling people out, all y'all motherfuckers, calling you out by name. Because y'all, I don't have any problem with anarcho-populist. I'm not super familiar, but yeah, they're obviously on my side of this cancellation. But is this a case? This says, is this the case Archie has been working on? And I saw a lot of people saying that. That is a reference to a debate that some dude named Archie Flowers had with Dave Smith like a year ago, where he brought one meme to an hour-long debate and tried to use that to cancel Dave Smith. That is what that is a reference to, and that should give you, right off the bat, just a little snippet of how autistic we are. We're still referencing such relevant people as Archie Flower in a debate on Lions of Liberty from like a year ago where he did poorly. I love that kind of humor because I'm one of y'all, and I fully endorse it. So, goes on, spices up a little bit. Edgar Friendly says, this is what you do in your spare time. God bless you, good sir. So, still fairly mild, but, you know, he's, yes, to answer your question, yes. So I said it's my cross to bear. I do have my responses in some of these. These are screen grabs for the people listening to the audio version, so I can't really scroll down or get the full conversations and everything. You can go find it. It's all up there. And I did say like an hour ago that this video would have more views than the Libertarian National Party's mandate video by the end of this episode. And I didn't even get to starting the episode. Even if I had started it on time, I was already crushing them before I even hit record. So there's that. We'll look at the views here in just a bit. If you guys in the chats have the view numbers, feel free to drop them in the chats so I don't have to go digging. But yes, it's my cross to bear. And yes, this is what I do in my spare time. I literally woke up in bed one night and I was like, you know, it'd be fucking funny as hell. And would get some attention from a person that I'm trying to get on the show. I'm pretty shameless when it comes to that type of thing, but I am tactful, and this was not an accident. This is not what some people seem to assume. This looks like unhinged reading. So achievement not unlocked. That's from Rational Mirror. Rational Mirror. And I said, in response to that, I said, I'm glad you understand, with prayer hands emoji. So already they think these are kind of in order as well of when they came in. So you'll get kind of my thought process as it was happening. But I knew this would get a bunch of traction. I did it with the intention of what I think Ethan Klein's intention was, which was to get a bunch of attention. It's not by accident that my podcast name is in this hit piece video like, I don't know, 12 times or something. And yes, this is what I like to do in my spare time. I am a weird person. I thought this would be hilarious, and I didn't care if Dave Smith came on the show or not. Like I would love to have him on the show, and I look forward to one day loving having him on the show. But this was obviously a joke, as you guys saw in the video. This is a joke. Like we all got that here in the chat, right? Is there anybody in the chat that didn't realize this was a joke? Because there's a lot of people who thought this was not a joke. Like Will Kretz. He says, man, you're just looking for money. Yes, I made bank off this thing. It took me like half a day, a couple hours, put it up, made bank. I'm just rolling in dough right now because of this thing. Just looking for money. Didn't make a single point about what he got wrong. Just sad emoji. He won't come on my podcast, sad emoji. And I said, I responded with, I know, right? Let's see him run from this. So a lot of times I would turn this into if I could turn it into a playing dumb that they're actually on my side talking about Dave Smith. But no, I'd like to give people the benefit of the doubt and assume that they understand what jokes are. These are the ones that got the bad sperm or something. Jazz Flute at Jazz_Flute_ on Twitter says, no clue who you are and never heard of your show, in quotation, of your show. It's a show, by the way. And just so you know, I'm talking about you on that show currently. He says, but this is weird as fuck. And then has a cringe face. Yes. Thank you. My response, of course, is this guy gets it. Yes, it is weird as fuck. And that's kind of my thing, if you haven't figured that out. I get some really weird ideas, and then I go balls to the wall at them, and then I put them out, and it works out about like 2% of the time. So pretty good strike record so far. Honestly, like this podcast and most of what I do it for my own personal entertainment. Like, I'm trying to entertain you. I'm trying to give you information, all that. I've got this like crazy goal of making the world a better place and stuff. And I'm trying to, put some libertarianism out there into the world and help people wake up to the shit that they're living under, the matrix that they're in. That's part of it. But I'm mostly here to make myself laugh a little bit. Like, I was in bands and stuff before all this, and I never made a dime off that, and I learned to be perfectly fine with not making a dime off my art. So that's what I'm doing here. I'm just know, for all your seething, I am laughing my fucking ass off. Just know. All right, moving on. Back to Will Kretz. Yes, we do have some updates on some of these. He's the one who, the last one before this last one, who said that the podcast would just make money. And I said, I know, right? See him run from this. And he said, dude, you're nobody. Even I have better things to do than debate you. Good, I wasn't even inviting you on the show. I don't even want to be having this conversation right now. But he says, I have better things to do than debate you. I'm sure you do. Like, I don't know, reading or focusing on like what words people are saying and when you're being duped or something. Like, if this level of dupery is what triggers you, what is going to happen to these people when Dave Smith actually does announce that he's running for president and he gets actual attacks from people who don't love him like I do? Like, are they going to lose their fucking minds or what? Because I like Dave Smith and did this as a joke, which comedian, mind you, Dave Smith seemed to understand that it was a joke. I could be wrong. We'll dig into that more later. But what are these people going to do when actual people that don't like Dave Smith are attacking Dave Smith? You're going to be like, hey, you're dumb. Yes. Yes, I am. And I say that quite often, actually. Even I have better things to do. Props to the video editor, though. Thanks, bud. Thank you. I hired one of the best. I would recommend maybe even the Libertarian Party should hire him someday. I don't know. Turned shit into a shit sandwich. It's good. It's real good. And I responded with hashtag Autistic Lives Matter, obviously. So there's that. And Brian S. at HLefty2020. And I'm not asking any of you to give these people the time of day online. That is not why I'm calling them out. I don't want you to go attack them or say they're stupid. If you want to go like defend me in the thread that we're actually in, great. But don't like seek these people out and harass them, or don't even seek them out and interact with them outside of this one thing, because that just gives these people it gives them the time of day that they're looking for. That is the troll food. Stop feeding the trolls, okay? This is embarrassing for everyone involved. Yes. There were so many people involved in this production, this really high quality, really high budget production that we did. Everyone should be ashamed of themselves. Imagine putting this much energy into another man that you're not sexually involved with. Very sad. Aw. I don't have a sad sound here. But that's a good one. Yes, imagine putting this much energy. I spent half a day, and I spent that half a day. I justify spending half of a work day putting that together because here's the thing, guys. I am a business owner and a business person, and you know what happens when a whole lot of people overnight go and like and share your shit? Do you think it's better for business, or do you think it's worse for business? Just curious. You probably don't know. It's better, just so you know. So for the podcast and for video stuff, they kind of link together, and I put out a video about Dave Smith that a whole lot of people shared, that a whole lot of people liked, that you got mad about. And I also don't want to make it seem like, this anger is the majority of the people that watch the video, because probably 85 to 90% of y'all got it. I'm sure everybody in this chat is smart enough to get it, but clearly some people did not. For those that did not, here's the thing, guys. More views, good. Less views, bad. And another thing, if I had Dave Smith on my show yesterday, do you think an hour to 2 hour episode of me just having a sit down conversation with Dave Smith would have gotten me more than whatever I have right now, like 40-something thousand views on Twitter? Do you think it would have gotten more than that? Or do you think it would have gotten less than 40-something thousand views on Twitter? Here, what you have to realize is people like to laugh at things, and people are ADHD always. So give them something funny that they like. I'm going to give you guys some like business lessons. I'll give you some peeks behind the curtain of how I run my show here. I don't care. Do it better than me. Go for it. I don't care if you have my secrets. I wish you would. LNC, I'm looking at you. But yeah, it's very sad. Very sad. It's embarrassing for everyone involved. Imagine putting this much energy into it. Spent a half a day, bud. And it was for a promo video for my show that got the outcome that I was looking for. So thanks for your positive feedback. And where were we? Oh, shit. I closed the wrong one. Let me see. Nope. Not yet. Not yet. Let me find where we were here in my list of sad people. Oh, yeah. I responded to that with, "You assume my sexual involvement," obviously. And he says back, is this a scorned ex situation? And is this your revenge? And of course, to that I said, yes, at Comic Dave Smith. I'm like tagging Dave in all these things too, just so he has to deal with this as well. Yes, at Comic Dave Smith gave me 12 shots and tricked me into starting a family together. Then one day, he went out for a pack of jewels and never came back. This is what you got to do, guys, because we're like, especially going into like the Reno stuff. If you're down with, you don't have to be like for, I don't know, the takeover or whatever. I think all of you are probably, but regardless of what you think about the takeover, like if you want the Libertarian Party to be better, this is how I think we need to start handling things. Like just troll them right back when they're too dumb to figure it out. Don't try and what good would it have done to explain to these people? Like, if you don't get that this is a joke, I don't know what value you could possibly have in me spending time trying to convince you of free market capitalist ideas and anarchy. Like, maybe they probably already do have those ideas, but just in general, I think this is the right way to move forward and deal with stuff like this. Don't spend too much of your time explaining to people who don't want to understand you. Like, there's no bigger waste of time in life than trying to explain to somebody who refuses to understand you. Like, I'm not saying never explain. I'm saying if you can tell right off the bat this person is just looking for an axe to grind and they just want to stir up some shit, just give them a little troll back. Maybe respond once or twice, or as long as it's funny, keep responding. But as soon as you're like, yeah, this guy's not worth it, take a look at their whatever, their profiles. See how many subscribers they have or how many followers they have. It doesn't really matter, but it matters a little bit, because if they've got like 0 to 10 people that follow them, they either don't really have opinions. They're not like digging into the stuff or learning or putting their thoughts out there other than to shit talking other people. But more likely, in probably a lot of times, they're sock accounts or people that make fake accounts to troll you. So definitely don't spend your time or waste your time trying to reason with somebody who their intent is to not be reasoned with. I think I've exhausted that. Speaking of exhausting things and spending way too much time exhausting them, let's get back to some of these comments. Yes, we read that one. From Troy Thomas VA, Troy Thomas VO at gmail.com. Yes, he put his own email in his Twitter handle, so that's on him. Says, Elul, I swear I thought this was a sketch. You're close. You were this close, man. You almost had it. But not quite. But you hate to see him, I don't know. Whatever. He says, I swear I thought this was a sketch. My response was, I thought so too at first. I sincerely couldn't believe that big talking at comic Dave Smith is such a coward. And he said, so I'm spinning that back on him, obviously. He said, LOL, I appreciate the hustle, Dan. If this was a real attempt, it's rough, but it was entertaining. So at least this guy, he's nice about it. I think he started to figure it out, but he still wasn't admitting. If you're listening, bud, you know, we're going to go over the video again here in a minute. I'm going to break down some very key points that if you had noticed things or watched the video at all, you'd realize how silly you sound. That is all. Okay, I keep closing these before I can open the next one, so I can't tell which one's next. So Aaron says, oh no, it's Aaron. At oh no, it's Aaron says, I genuinely can't tell how many of Dave's fans are outraged to further the bit or if they actually are taking this seriously. I know, right? I can't, like, there's a part of me that, like, these comments aren't smart enough or witty enough for me to think that they're not serious. So I'm pretty sure a lot of them, or most of them, or maybe even all of them are. But if there might be somebody out there that's just rage trolling me even harder than I'm trolling them. And that's why I posted earlier today. I was like, yes, we are spending a lot of time talking about Twitter on today's episode. Deal with it. It's my show. I'm back. It was a good vacation. If you couldn't tell, I got real well rested. And then I came back and went to a funeral. So that was fun. Who cares? We don't need to talk about that. It was a sad funeral, but it happens. Not COVID related, by the way. Yeah, so I can't tell either, and it's to the point where I'm like, am I, like, if you're looking around and everybody's, like, mad at you for a joke that you told, and you're like, I got you, like, maybe I'm the autistic one if nobody gets my jokes. And I don't really care. Like, I probably would land on the spectrum in some capacity or something. There's a lot of people, like I said, there's a lot of people in my family who do officially. I've never been tested for it, so I don't know. But you decide from this nonsense whether or not you think that's accurate. But am I the autistic one? Are you the autistic one? Or, like, are they the normal ones that just don't understand my autistic joke? Or is my joke fucking funny? Like, I know it is. They're too autistic to get it. I don't know. You decide. But it is also funny that comedian Dave Smith, guy who gets a lot of shit for offensive jokes that he's told because certain people are too autistic to understand his jokes, so they get mad and rage against Dave Smith. They're the people, I'm getting the same thing in reverse. People are getting mad at me because they don't understand my jokes about Dave Smith, which I find absolutely hilarious, of course. And it's funny, you can tell, like, in the comments, you can tell which people are fans of Dave Smith because of his comedy, and which people are fans of not that all libertarians are taking this the wrong way, because most of his fan base at this point, I'm sure, is libertarian, but you can tell right away which ones are definitely libertarian, right? But yeah, whatever. It's pretty funny. It's funny. I like having a laugh about it. That is all. From everything I've seen, I'd say he was justified. You're giving off, quote, I pet dogs too hard. Only one O in that too, sir. Sorry. Giving off, I pet dogs too hard vibes is what he accused me of. And of course, my response to that was, dogs are literally Hitler. Why would I pet Hitler? Stop making excuses for cowardice. If you're not familiar with that reference, go to thesystemisdown.tv/store, I think, and you can get the Dogs Are Literally Hitler t-shirt. And if you still don't know what that reference is, you can go back like 3 years and find the episode, because I don't care. Somebody else says, Archie Flowers removes his Dan Smotz suit. The case has been made. Yes, so another person with that reference. And of course, my response to that was, laughing face. It was a tight fit, but it was all worth it. Yeah. Hey, man. This is from Dom at Dom Vencinia. Hey, man. If you want folks to subscribe to your ideas, don't make low IQ attack videos. My angry 17-year-old son does this. It doesn't work. That was 100% the joke. You want to talk about low IQ? How about you talk about the person who can watch something that is very specifically, deliberately, clearly a joke, and you don't get it. So, of course, I said to that, you should have been a better father. Because his son is evil like me or something. And then he went on to say, indeed, my lack of fathering has led to this. That's my kid's excuse. Okay, so you're admitting you're a bad father. Thank you. He says, how do you justify the production of low quality, poorly animated, angry content and angry content, a bad dad? So he's saying, I think what he's going for is the video was bad. Do you blame your father for it? And he goes on to say, how bad at fatherhood must I be to lead him to ignore all critical thinking outside of his narrative? I don't know who you're even referring to anymore. You are off your meds, and I'm sorry. Yeah. What do you say to that? What do you say to that? What do you guys think? Was the video poor quality? Because compared to what? I'm not entirely sure. And for a joke, I'd say it was pretty damn good quality for a joke. All right. I don't know what this is. This guy sends, since Dave won't criticize those evil interests, does that make him hashtag part of the problem? This guy is like calling out, he's trying to call out Dave Smith, I think. I don't know. It's just big, long, clearly a leftist tirade because I've already lost interest. You can go dig into it. I'm not trying to hide anything for Dave Smith. I don't care. I'm the one who attacked him, motherfucker. But I responded to that with, what video did you watch? That I don't know what this tirade was about, but it clearly had nothing to do with this video. Maybe they got the joke and there's like, just so you know, Dave Smith is actually a nasty person. But for all you people, cool your tits, because Dave Smith put this out because he clearly, comedian Dave Smith actually has a bit of a sense of humor, coward as he may be. He said, I always knew some montage of controversial videos from my past would bring me down, but I didn't think it would be these ones. Anyway, I've been exposed. I'll be stepping back from podcasting to spend time with my family. We did it. We did it, you guys. He's done. We brought the beast down. We brought him down. Making sure there's nothing else on that. We won, and he's gone. As far as I can tell, he hasn't posted since I started this episode, and I think he's gone. Cowardice beget cowardice or something. He's definitely not coming on this show anytime soon because I would never have a coward on. Oh shit! How'd that get there? I don't know. I don't know what anything is. The guy is clearly a coward. He's a piece of shit. What else we got here? He's a piece of shit. He needs to be brought down. And definitely don't tune into this show on January 26th at 7:30 p.m. Corn time. It has nothing to do with this conversation about Dave Smith coming on the show or anything like that. It doesn't have anything to do with that, but on January 26th at 7:30 p.m., definitely don't tune into this show and stuff. Okay? So, moving on. Can we move on? Oh wait, no. We gotta watch this a little bit. I'm not gonna spend that much more time on it. I know I spent a lot of time on it. I know I spent way too much time on it already, but we gotta talk about it a little bit. Where's my camera? Here we go. There we are. Okay. So this is the expose that I made of Dave Smith that I played at the beginning, but now we're going to talk about it a little bit. It's time for people to know the truth about
to focus on who I
Dave
respond
Smith.
to. So it's only blue check marks and anyone who calls me a Nazi.
So that was at PorkFest. For the people that don't know, I might over-explain this because I do that sometimes. I'm mansplaining it. I'm dansplaining it to you. At PorkFest, I made a joke I said, like, you haven't come on my show. I've been reaching out to you, so I wanted to ambush you here. And he's like, okay, he made a joke back at me because he understood that it was a joke and said that he would only come on if I was blue checker on or called him a Nazi. And I called him a Nazi. He said, all right, let's do it. Let's set it up, whatever. You can go find that. It's on my YouTube channel and Odyssey and all that stuff. So go find that interview that I did with him at PorkFest. So the terms were set, obviously.
You call me a Nazi one time, I'll come on your podcast.
Nazi.
And then we can. All right, let's do it.
The deal was made, and there's Dave Smith's email showing that he sent me a direct message giving me his email address. He told me if you contact me here, it'll work out better. I've contacted him there once, and he has not responded to it yet, as we'll see here, right here. Look at this. There's my hold up. Here's my email. I know a lot of this stuff goes fast because that's how I intended it, because I do things deliberately, and I wanted you to have to watch it more than once, and I wanted to fit it all into a concise amount of time that you would actually watch it. So just giving you, my rationale for all my stupidity. If you want to take it and use it, by all means do so. But Video Guy Interview at PorkFest was the title of it, and I asked Dave Smith there. I was like, hey, you talk to me there and just remind you who I am and stuff. Let me move this. So I obviously photoshopped this down here that says, this is where the response should go. So this is just a screen grab of my inbox, typed in Dave Smith's email, and that's all that came up. I added that. So there's that. And for those that aren't familiar, I always put Easter eggs and shit into my videos, so it's fun to do a little breakdown here and talk about what everything means. This is on Break the Cycle, a Josh Smith show, which I'm going on tomorrow night, and I believe Dave Casey is going on as well, and Josh Denny. We're going to be talking about some conspiracy stuff on the Conspiracy Couch, so tune in there. I've got tons of episodes coming out, or tons of interviews, tons of guests coming on, tons of stuff lined up over the next 2-3 weeks. Stick around. Tomorrow, did you guys hear about the Massachusetts, Libertarian Party of Massachusetts thing? Yeah, we're talking about that tomorrow. I'm having somebody on to discuss that too, because as I always say, I don't like talking about LP corruption, but as long as it's there, I'm going to talk about it. And by I always say that, I mean I always say some form of that, but I think that's good. Somebody write that down, and I'm gonna use that. This was on back to this. This was on Break the Cycle, Josh Smith's show, with which Dave Smith was also on, along with Scott Horton, Liberty Lockdown Clint, Dave Casey, Top Lobster, Real Chase Geyser. Sorry, not super familiar with him, but this was the from the Thanksgiving episode. You can go check that out too, as well. I don't want to call you a coward. I'm like half-assedly just like, you didn't come on, so I'm calling you a coward. Everybody's laughing. Like, I don't know. Maybe you don't get my sense of humor, but that's kind of it. Just like, hey, you bitch, come on my show. And yeah, I find it funny. The lie was told, and this is another interaction that we had on Twitter. Dave said, one more insult, and I swear I'm going to come on your show. So this has been like an ongoing back and forth joke that we've had for a while. And I said, politician, and he said, okay, I'm in. He still did not respond to things after that. So the rivalry continued.
And I will come on your show. Give me a date and
And I do just have some random screen grabs of things that I posted. I said the baby was all just a cowardly smokescreen to get out of coming on the show. There is no baby. I have the documents. Just me calling Dave Smith a coward and him continuing to ignore me as he should.
right now.
And let me see. What is this? Oh, yeah, just, yeah.
Be there.
Right now? Like, once you get to this point in the video, how do you not know that this is a joke? Like, we're clearly on an episode together, talking, laughing about a thing. He makes a joke that I'll come on your show, just set it up right now, I'll be there. And then he turns off his camera as a joke, and everybody's laughing. That should be the giveaway, but I guess it's still a little unclear for some folks. So then I go on to this thing. And this was part of why I decided to do this, and I thought it was funny. I thought it was important. I thought it was good. I was just like, I don't think Dave Smith is any of these things that people call him. I think that he's a cool dude. I want him to come on my show. I think he's a coward. I think that he's not coming on the show. I don't think he's not coming. It's not even a matter of think or not think. He's definitely not avoiding coming on the show because he's scared. That is 100% of the joke from the beginning. It always has been. He's a busy guy, and I'm just like an annoying weirdo who has a weird sense of humor, and I'm just like, yeah, he's just not coming on because he's scared. And then I kept pushing this coward thing for like months, and it's been like 6 months or so, and now all these other people call him. They have these accusations against him. I don't think he is those things. And Dave Smith, a coward. Well, his people did kill Christ. Oh, thank you for that. LMAO, fat, racist, burnt Chrysler? I don't know what that means. So, yeah, I put this in here. I thought this would be funny. Like, Dave Smith is not a homophobe, a transphobe, a Nazi, is whatever, a bigot, a racist. I even put in, so just so you know that that's all a joke as well, I put in murderer and comedian. He's not those things. He's a coward. It's not just for the joke. It's mostly for the joke. But there's a part of me that was like, you know, if people are like going out and like, if he's going to start his political career, he's going to be getting smears left and right. All this stuff that, you know, is definitely going to happen from people in power. And yeah, I think it would be better if we had some things out there that's like joking around about Dave Smith being like, hey, exposed, and it's a joke, and smart enough people will understand that. But I guess I'm probably giving the normies a little too much credit in that too. But having this type of stuff out here, I think it's funny. And like, I'm not trying to cover up anything Dave Smith's done, but from my understanding, it's 100% jokes, and I understand what he's going through a little bit now that I have this video that is pissing everybody off for a joke.
You are a coward.
Who doesn't get the jokes now, Dan? Says SDG. What do you mean, who doesn't get the jokes? I just spent a freaking half an hour showing you screen grabs of people who don't get the jokes. You probably meant that in a different way, but I don't care. Whatever. Thank you for your comment.
For continuing to refuse to go on the System Is Down podcast.
So I told Spike Cohen. Spike Cohen had this debate with Dave Smith, and I was like, hey, I'll do blank for you. I was gonna do like I work with Spike Cohen on different projects and stuff, and I was like, I'll do this thing if you say this to Dave. It was like a joke. That was a joke as well because I would have still done the thing, but he did it, and it was funny. That's it. So Dave Smith is a coward. Now, you get to this point in the video, and you're still not quite sure if this is a joke. This is a picture of angry Ron Paul and a quote saying, Dave Smith is a big fat coward for not going on The System Is Down, dash Ron Paul, in parentheses, probably. If you still don't know, that's on you. There's nothing left I can do for you. Oh, and here's where Getter came out, which is a website, apparently. Getter came out. I set up a Getter account, which is like, I don't know, Fed right Twitter probably. And I just posted it on there and said, at Comic Dave Smith, come on my show, you coward, because I saw that he was on there too. And then I screen grabbed that and shared it to Twitter and said, I will use my Getter exclusively for troll shaming Dave Smith for cowardice.
If you're listening, I will never go on your podcast now.
Everybody's laughing but you guys. You understand that, right? The people in the video are laughing. The person who made the video is laughing. The only person that's not laughing is you. And so I put this in here. It's got a bunch of the videos that I made for the campaigns and stuff, and for the Mises Caucus, and for the mandate video and all that. And I said, Dave, I could be using my video skills to advance liberty. Or for, quote, still not official yet presidential ads. You see where this is going. I'm promoting myself. I'm throwing in, hey, just a reminder, I'm the guy who made these videos, and I'm looking forward to probably working with you at some point in the not too distant future about certain things that are definitely not official or something. Just you know, getting attention, promoting my shit. Deal. I can't with you people.
I was gonna call you tonight.
Instead, I'm wasting my time. Wasting my time with this shit, and you're to blame. So, like I'm actually blaming Dave Smith that I'm spending time making a video to call out Dave Smith. Good Lord. And we just got shots of me super chatting on the more fortunate, apparently less offensive podcasts like Tower Gang and who was that? One of the Four Horsemen one on Naturalist Capitalist. Yeah, these other podcasts that still are allowed to super chat, but they pretend to be based. And this is actually from my DMs with Dave Smith, where he said, haha, let's talk tomorrow. And then the next day I said, all right, what's good? And I said, what days and times are best for you? And then he didn't respond. And I sent him like coward memes and you're scared, stop hiding memes. And I said, Dave, Nazi, coward. And I said, I will bribe all of your debate opponents to half-assedly shame you. Like, I'm sharing this. Clearly, I'm joking to Dave. I say clearly. It's apparently not clear. And stop hiding, Dave Smith. I've just got stock footage of a guy who's pretending to be scared in a very corny manner. Oh, and my personal favorite. I stuck this in at the end. This was from a screen grab of a conversation from another time that I was jokingly giving Dave Smith shit. Who is this? I can't see it on my app here. This is at Nave Ofer. Says, being an obnoxious bitch is a great way to increase the odds of that happening. That was what increase the odds of me getting him on the show. And I said, finally, someone understands. Thank you. And you're right, at Nave Offer. I'm sure that will probably never happen, but definitely don't tune into this show 2 weeks from now at 7:30 p.m. Just hypothetically. Then we go, what else do we got? Anything else? Oh, yeah. It's now or never. And then at the bottom I have, or whenever you're free, period, hit me up. Like, how are you getting... Did you guys even watch the video? Like, I'm genuinely curious to the people who are angry about this thing. Did you even watch the video at all? And like, at all? Also, being the nice person that I am, DaveSmithExposed.com was still available, and I purchased it, and now some asshole hater can't go and purchase it. I spent money on this thing, man. It was like $10. But yeah, who knows what we can use that for in the future. But we've got it now, guys. If you got any ideas, great. And then at the end, he says, you're fat and stupid. And people got angry about that. I spent way too much time on this. But hey, you know what you're in for when you come here sometimes. Now, we talked about the Libertarian Party's video, which last time I checked. Right now, let me refresh, just to make sure we're completely accurate. Let me refresh. If you don't know why this matters, you're gonna have to go back and listen to an older episode, because we're not getting into that. But I'm sure all of you do. And nope, that is not what I meant to hit at all. And I don't know what just happened. Oh, shit. Let me see. There we go. Okay, so this is their video. It currently has 41.8 views. Let's go to my profile and find the one now and get the most latest update. Let's see, 46.9K views. I have beat them by over 5,000 in less than a day. I put this out at 6 o'clock yesterday. It is 4 o'clock today. And I already have more than them on this. I know it's mostly because of Dave Smith, but I didn't do that as an accident. It's not an accident that I did something that worked really well. I just know how to play the system. I know what people want to see. They want to see something funny, something that they can relate to, and that's really all this was. And it may or may not have gotten exactly the outcome I was looking for. But just remember that this joke dumbass video that I did got 5,000 views more in the span of about 23 hours than no, we don't need to look at that again. Than the Libertarian Party one that was posted when? Posted October 6th, and allegedly cost them $30,000 and took them a month to create. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Never send a government to do the work of an individual. That is what I'm saying. Now, we do have a couple more things I want to get through. Maybe we can just breeze through them real fast and get out of here into the after party, because I do have some shit tonight. I'm playing some music tonight. It's going to be fun. It's been like 4 months since we've gotten together to play some music, and we're doing it. Okay. Let me check some of these chats because I've been snubbing you all. I'm sorry. I just know that we have a ton to get to. I'm spending all my time commenting on commenters on Twitter instead of my commenters that are here in the house of the Lord with me, or whatever. Shannon says Tom Woods is going to be next on Dan's hit list. Shannon, I don't think Tom's going to have to be on my hit list. You can take that however you want. Justico Mitchell says, you did it. What did I do? Are you referring to beating the Libertarian Party again? Their own game with something stupid that cost nothing and took no time? If that's what you mean, then yes. Mitchell Rivell says LP could use Dave in the... Smith. Oh, Smith. Dave Smith, I assume is what he's going for, in their video too, but they were too proud or too pussy. Yes, which is why if you go watch the other time that I put out a video, the actual mandate video that you can find pinned on my Twitter, you might find some familiar faces in there that the LP doesn't seem to be huge fans of. Michael Revell says, "Is pussy allowed in the chat?" Hey man, we've got a lot of female listeners, so don't hate. Speaking of, I don't know. Speaking of stuff, come on my show to talk about commie. Are you talking to me, or is that a quote from me? I can't even tell anymore. But I applaud your effort. Slide into my DMs if you want to have me on. I'm down. Speaking of going on other people's shows, Josh Smith tomorrow night at 7:30, I believe. And next Monday, I am going on Year Zero. It is not a live stream, but that'll be coming out soon. That'll be fun. We're talking about the Great Reset and all sorts of conspiracy nonsense. By nonsense, I mean truth. And we're gonna have a good time. I'm also, what else am I doing? I've got tons of stuff. Yeah, LP Massachusetts tomorrow night, or tomorrow afternoon. Josh Smith tomorrow night. So be here for, I think at 2 for LP Mass. We're going to dig into that. I'm going to expose some bullshit. Speaking of bullshit, I don't know. I guess this isn't really bullshit. American Idol star Clay Aiken will run for a North Carolina seat in Congress. Cool. All right, that's it for that one. Speaking of gay, Ted Cruz's teen daughter says she's bi. Disagrees with him. Ted Cruz is gayer than his daughter. I'm just going to say that right off the bat. You telling me that this guy is like straight as a whip? He tries really hard to be straight as a whip, but he comes across less. I don't really care about Ted Cruz's daughter and who she wants to sleep with. And I saw a lot of right-wingers, a lot of Republicans coming out and bashing on the media for even talking about this because she's 13 and you shouldn't be talking about... Like, they're not, like, being grotesque about it. They're pointing out a thing that she said online that's still news. Greta Thunberg was still news before she was of legal age. They're not trying to sleep with Ted Cruz's daughter. They're pointing out who Ted Cruz's daughter has said online that she wants to sleep with, to my understanding. And I don't care at all about Ted Cruz's daughter, but there is a little bit of humor in it, right? It's a little bit funny that straight as whip Ted Cruz, his daughter's bi. It's a little funny. That's all. I don't care what she wants to do at all. Or Ted Cruz. Or what he pretends like he doesn't want to do. But speaking of Ted Cruz and being gay, he came out and, called all the January 6th grannies terrorists and everyone terrorists for walking past a velvet rope thing. I know it was more than that. It was a riot and stuff. It was not smart. It was dumb. We don't need to rehash all that, but Ted Cruz called them all terrorists. You all probably know this already. This is a little bit older, but we don't need to hear what Tucker Carlson has to say about it.
A solemn anniversary this week, and it is an anniversary of a violent terrorist attack on the Capitol.
Yay! He said the magic words. He is the same thing. Same thing as the left now. Now, I know he came out and he did backpedal it hard. Backpedaled it hard. Now, when he said the first thing, everybody's like, well, he definitely doesn't ever want to run for president because that's certainly not the way to do it. I don't know what his strategy is. What do you think Ted Cruz's strategy is in saying that everybody that was there was a bunch of terrorists and blah, blah, blah? What do you think it is? I really don't know. It seems like about the worst thing that he could have said about the January 6th thing, if he's trying to garner support from any of Trump fans or any of the current Republican base even. And I'm not a Trump supporter. I also don't think those people are terrorists. Like, that is pretty evident, I believe, based on, the lack of weapons, the lack of injuries, the lack of deaths. There was one death. Ashley Babbitt was shot by a cop. So Tucker Carlson, of course, wasn't having that. He just put out his documentary, which I still need to watch, about the January 6th stuff. I think it sounds interesting, and I'm curious to see what spin he puts on it. But here's his conversation briefly with Ted Cruz, grilling him a little bit on this thing. And my hat goes off to Tucker Carlson when it's due. It's not always due, but today it goes off.
Carelessly. And yet you called this a terror attack when by no definition was it a terror attack. That's a lie. You told that lie on purpose, and I'm wondering why.
Look at that politician face. He's like, yes, yep, all those things you're saying about me lying, those are true. Yeah. And let's hear his glorious answer.
Well, Tucker, thank you for having me on. When you aired your episode last
night,
answer the question. I sent you a text shortly thereafter and said, listen, I'd like to go on because the way I phrased things yesterday, it was sloppy and it was frankly dumb. And
it's not sloppy to say the exact same thing that all of the corporate press and most of the politicians, like all of the Democrat politicians and an awful lot of the right-wing politicians are saying this very clear, specific terminology that you used, that everybody else is using, that you've avoided using up until this point. That's not sloppy. That is precise and calculated, sir. And the only question here is, what is your precise calculation that you're going for?
Buy that. Whoa. I don't buy that. Look, I've known you a long time, since before you went to the Senate. You were a Supreme Court contender. You take words as seriously as any man who's ever served in the Senate. And every word, you repeated that phrase. I do not believe that you used that accidentally. I just don't.
No shit.
So, Tucker, as a result of my sloppy phrasing, it's caused a lot of people to misunderstand what I meant. Let me tell you what I meant to say. What I was referring to are the limited number of people who engaged in violent attacks against police officers. Now, I think you and I both agree that if you assault a police officer, you should go to jail. That's who I was talking about. And the reason the phrasing was sloppy is I have talked dozens, if not hundreds of times. I've drawn a distinction. I wasn't saying that the thousands of peaceful protesters supporting Donald Trump are somehow terrorists. I wasn't saying the millions of patriots across the country supporting President Trump are terrorists. And that's what a lot of people have misunderstood that comment.
Wait a second, but hold on. What you just said doesn't make sense. So if somebody assaults a cop, he should be charged and go to jail.
Does that make him a terrorist, though?
We've said that for years. But that person's still not a terrorist. How many people have been charged with terrorism?
And I'll add to that with the obvious question: if you were speaking about very specific individuals that did very specific, flagrantly terroristic activities on January 6th, what are their names? Do you have any names? I would think that you would have specific people that you could call out in this instead of making this seemingly very generalized claim.
On January 6th. Like, why'd you use that word? You're playing into the other side's characterization that, as Joe Kent just explained, allows them to define an entire population as foreign combatants. And you know that. So why'd you do it?
So, Tucker, let me answer you directly. The reason I use that word, for a decade, I have referred to people who violently assault police officers as terrorists. I've done so over and over and over again. If you look at all the assaults we've seen across the country,
you're not correct.
I've called that terrorism over and over again.
You can.
That being said,
so
Tucker,
you've
I agree
always
with you.
your explanation for why you were wrong is I've always been wrong, Tucker. I've never chosen my words carefully. I've always been wrong.
Mistake to say that yesterday, and the reason is what you just said, which is we've now had a year of Democrats in the media twisting words.
But they don't have to twist your words, dude. So the problem is we've got a media that keeps twisting words, which is why I called a bunch of people terrorists that aren't. Now, I don't think they are either, but, I don't want them twisting my... I think that could be it. He's like, if there's this clip out there where I said this thing that the Democrats can... sink their teeth into, this is going to blow up. It's going to get a bunch of attention. A lot of people are going to see it, like that Dave Smith video. Just kidding. I'm not that egotistical, I promise. The Democrats are going to see this thing as it's blowing up and be like, oh, he might have some points here. And they're probably not going to go dig up the aftermath. Or maybe they will. I don't know. The Republicans will do the same. So he's literally talking out both sides of his mouth. And by literally, I mean figuratively, of course, because that's literally how we use it every single time we use it these days. But he's talking out both sides of his mouth in two different scenarios, like back to back, within like an hour, a day span of each other, saying the complete opposite, in my opinion. And I think that it was not an accident. I think he had a reason. I don't necessarily know what that reason is, but you know, you got to get, I don't know. Don't assume these guys are stupid. Don't attribute to ignorance what can be, what is seemingly flagrantly malice. And I don't trust that guy. He's probably literally the Zodiac Killer. All right, let's check some chats. The Road to Providence with Dave Brady says, remember Ted Cruz when he said he wanted to turn the Middle East into glass? Me too. Yeah. C.D. McRae says Pepperidge Farms members. Yes. Remember when Ted this is from SDG. Remember when Ted put out that weird campaign ad where it looked like he was holding his family hostage? No, I don't. Send it to me. Dan@tsidpod.com or wherever. What else we got? Anarcho Zero says, I would respect him more if he said, I said something stupid. Yes, exactly. If he is trying to say that he tripped over his words, yeah, that would make a lot more sense to be like, yeah, that was dumb. Like, in the heat of the moment, I was all fired up, and that was dumb. Like, just apologize. These people can't apologize for anything. It's like politicians in general, just they're allergic to taking accountability for anything that's ever come out of their mouths. Example, go look up that current video that just came out with another one of Rand Paul grilling Fauci. We might talk about it in the after party, but good Lord, how many times can we talk about the exact same things over and over again? Just new day, literally new day, exact same thing, exact same scenario of Rand Paul calling Dr. Fauci a liar and Dr. Fauci playing the victim. Like he's the one always being attacked. He's just the science. Stop attacking science. Anyway, back to the January 6th stuff. So Ted Cruz can call out the entirety of everything, just generalized statements of terrorism, which is what he did, whether he backpedals it or not, or, whether he backpedaled it, he did, or not. But he can't call out anybody specifically. Well, how come Ted Cruz isn't talking? You remember Ray Epps? You might know him. Maybe you know him from me talking about it in the bonus party a couple weeks ago, the after party a couple weeks ago. You might know him from your own digging. The word's getting around that this guy is shady as shit. He was on film multiple times telling people to go into the Capitol and people yelling, no, Fed, 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 that guy. And there's video of him in the aftermath, somebody approaching him at his house, outside of the property. He's riding around in a golf cart and they ask him about it. And he doesn't answer any questions and angrily drives away. That guy who seems clearly to be a Fed. Good news, everyone. He's not a Fed. And how do you know that? Because the January 6th committee said he's not a Fed. The government, the very corrupt government people that are trying to lock up people who were protesting, they said that he's not a Fed, so it's fine, right? Snopes fact-checked it. It's good. These are the people that are trying to dig up as many people for their scandal as they can. And if Ray Epps was a Fed, do you think that he would? And they found out he was a Fed? Do you think he'd get in trouble then? Like, we have people who just walked into the place who are sitting in jail or under house arrest right now. He was telling people, he was the one encouraging it on video multiple times. But it's okay. He's not a Fed because he said he's not a Fed. So this comes from the January 6th committee. They put this out yesterday. The committee has interviewed Epps. Epps informed us that he was not employed by, working with, or acting at the direction of any law enforcement agency on January 5th or 6th or at any other time, and that he has never been an informant for the FBI or any other law enforcement agency. They did it. Closed case. Closed case. So why isn't he in jail? Like, if he's not a Fed and he did things that are worse, more instigating than probably 80 to 90% of the people there, and you have that on tape, how come he's not being prosecuted if he's not on your side? So, of course, my response to that was, I can't confirm, but I assume that's also what he told the young men who shouted "Fed, Fed, Fed" after Ray kept telling them to go into the Capitol. Like, of course he said that. If he was a Fed and you went and asked him, "Are you a Fed?" do you think his answer would be yes? If you were on his side, his answer would probably be, yeah, but don't tell anybody. And they're like, okay, cool. You said no. Say no. Yep, he said no. Okay. If he was a Fed and you didn't know, and this is just an exploratory committee to find out the truth, still, do you think he would tell you? And if he's not a Fed, why is he walking? Why are they not doing more than just asking him a couple questions? Because some precedents were set, guys. If this was at the beginning and you gave us this information about Ray Epps, it might make a little bit more sense. But you didn't. You gave it to us now. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez has been bashing on states like Texas and Florida for their lax tyranny. There's smaller amounts of tyranny than the rest of the country. She is very offended by that because that is what's killing grandma. So to show her anger and outrage, she decided to vacation to Florida and kiss some drag queens without a mask on. Florida, like, I'm not going to dig into this too deeply because it speaks for itself and it should come as no surprise. And you've probably already heard about this by now because it's all over the place. But yes, she criticizes all these places for not having harder mandates. Then when she gets the chance to go and unwind and wind down and have some chill time, she decides she's going to go to sunny Florida. I thought it was like a deathbed haven for COVID and scum and villainy or something. But that's where you decide to go on your vacation. Maybe New York isn't as good as you pretend like it is, and Florida isn't as bad as you pretend like it is. Just crazy, outlandish theory that I have. Call me a conspiracy theorist. But it's not like she was there on business. She was literally there vacationing, and she was not following the rules that she helps put into place. Again, like, do I have to keep saying these things? Or is there anybody surprised by this at all? Then she goes to like some drag queen show. I don't have any problem with that. You can do what you want, as long as it's not hypocritical because you're the one who wants this drag queen show to not be currently happening, that you're attending. This gathering of people without masks on, and you're going there kissing people and hugging people. And of course, AOC lashed back. She wasn't having this, as AOC does. She came back with a very firm argument, a very sound, reasonable, rational point that we would expect from a congresswoman. She said, Republicans are mad they can't date me. Does she think she's funny? Because it's not like ha-ha funny. It's kind of just like, I mean, if you're going to do cringe, call out Dave Smith for cowardice. Like, if you're going for the cringe vote, I mean, good Lord. I'm fine with a congressperson having or trying to have a sense of humor. This ain't it, y'all. This ain't it. This is dodging. This is dodging accusations of hypocrisy from a tyrant who does not abide by her own rules. So yes, they might have some things to complain about, and I assure you, they don't want to date you. Some people think you're hot. Some people think you look like a horse. Some people might think that that though it may be hypocritical, it would make a lot of sense for you to take ivermectin to deal with your COVID. Oh, that's the other part. Forgot about the last part. She got COVID. She got COVID while she was there. Or maybe not while she was there. Maybe she brought it back. Because as we know, these mandates do absolutely nothing to stop it. So there's a very good chance she had it before she went there. She might not have. I don't know. Doesn't matter. She got COVID from not following her own policies. But even if people do think AOC is attractive, which I'm not going to weigh in on, but it would make a lot of sense for her to take ivermectin. I think that nobody, especially no Republicans, want to date you because you don't stop being so dumb. So dumb. So dumb. Speaking of so dumb, you ever hear of Justice Sotomayor, or however the hell you pronounce her name? This is just a fun headline that we'll wrap it up with. Justice Sotomayor claims not to understand the distinction between state and federal powers. So that's where we're at, guys. And we can wrap it up there because that's who's in power. That's who we're up against here. Like, yes, I do think they're strategic. I do think they have a plan. I don't think it's a good one. I do think that they're trying to, they don't have good intentions for us. But they're really fucking dumb. They have a lot of power. Yes. They probably, like, at this point in our nation's, like, legacy, most likely the vast majority of them got into power because of nepotism more than, like, influence or intelligence. Rand Paul, for example. Not to dog on anything he's done. He ran a pretty weak presidential campaign, but Rand Paul, do you think, I don't know, would he, if he was born in under different circumstances where he didn't have a god as a father, do you think he would have, gone into politics at all? I think a lot of these people are nepotism. That's why we have Bushes and Cheneys and Clintons all over the place. Spreading faster than Omicrionitis. But we have justices. Sonia Sotomayor saying she doesn't understand the difference between the power that she herself wields and the power that local state bodies and governments have. There's no distinction. Now, to be clear, I will read just a tiny bit of this. Just to show you what we're up against here. She says, I'm not sure I understand the distinction why the states would have the power to institute a mandate such as OSHA's, but the federal government wouldn't. Power with respect to protecting the health and safety of workers. We have accepted the constitutionality of OSHA, blah, blah, blah. Whatever. She doesn't get it. She's completely dumbfounded by why local government bodies should have any power at all. Because if the smaller states don't have as much, nay, much more power as they should than the federal government, who's representing you exactly? Is it AOC? Is, like... So, it should be a bit of a white pill. When we've got a Supreme Court justices saying that they don't understand how power structures work, there should be a bit of, like, I don't know, are you scared? Are you more scared or are you less scared? Because there's a part of me that's less scared. I'm taking a gray pill, a hard gray pill every day. I'm like, man, we're up against some really dumb people, but those dumb people sure have an awful lot of power. They've got that retard strength. And they're wielding that retard strength and just flailing their asses off. But as I said earlier, I think they're flailing their asses off. I think that they're working on some new things, but I do think they're showing that shiny spot. Like I said a couple weeks ago, the end boss, the final boss in a video game, they're showing that shiny spot. That's the part that you start figuratively shooting at. Figuratively, definitely. Attacking with words, pointing out, showing that the emperor not only has no clothes, he's being dragged through the street, metaphorically, and his ass is bare. Like, just bare, bloodied ass from getting all these spankings. And no, it's not over because the emperor's still there. No matter how stupid he looks, no matter how stupid he is, he's still the emperor. So, yeah, what do we do? I don't know. I don't have all the answers. It's fine. Because I'm not here to give you all the answers. I'm here to inform you about the important things in the world, like Dave Smith's cowardice, and make you, I don't know, have a little autistic chuckle or two. Thank you for being here today. Thank you for hanging out with me. I do have to go over into the bonus now, over into the after party. We've been here for 2 hours. 2 hours, probably too long for some of you, but if you'd like to get into the bonus, go join patreon.com/thesystemisdown. You don't have to be there for the live stream, though. You can listen to that and all of our backlog of bonus content from the last, 4 years. I don't know how even long I've been doing this at this point. Tons and tons of bonus content in there. You can listen to all of it. It's not all just news. So there's like other topics. There's movie stuff, TV stuff, lots of fun things. Not video games. game shows. We do Would You Rather Wednesday every now and then with Remzo Martinez and stuff like that. Lots of fun stuff. Boba Fett breakdowns. Me and Mark Claire. We were supposed to cover that yesterday or Monday. Shit. We're behind. We might have to double down, but we're gonna get out of here and we're gonna go on over there. Thank you for hanging out with me. I really appreciate it. It is great to be back. It's great to be into a new year, and I hope that you are buckled up because we're going for the ride. We're not stopping. We're ramping things up. I'm gonna be devoting more time to promotional stuff that trigger your autism and lots of things. So if you enjoy it, support it and share it, and share all the lovely autistic people. Share them. We're not bad. We're okay. Whatever. Peace out. Have fun. Be bad. Question everything, and know that your enemy is kind of stupid, but pretty powerful. Talk to you next.
Hey guys, thanks for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe on your way out and help us change the world one uncomfortable conversation at a time. And if you like what you hear and you want to hear more, go join the Downers Club at patreon.com/thesystemsdown for bonus episodes of the show every single week. Until next time, please continue to question everything, stay uncomfortable, and I'll talk to you then. Thanks.
This has been a Goulash Media production. GoulashMedia.net.
This concludes our broadcast day. Click.